Ever seen an American speed up when someone tries to merge? Or clap at the end of a movie like the director is there to hear it? Yeah, it's time to talk about that. From microwaving food crimes to treating drive-thrus like high-stakes negotiations, here are 101 things Americans get hilariously wrong every single day. If you're American, prepare to be called out. If you're not, enjoy the show. Let's go! 1. Ever been stuck behind someone walking at snail speed in the middle of a crowded sidewalk? Congratulations, you've met the dreaded sidewalk hog. People have a bad habit of treating sidewalks like their personal living rooms, strolling aimlessly, texting, or even stopping mid-step to check their phone. Meanwhile, the rest of us are plotting their downfall like it's a video game level. 2. We love our coffee, but let's be real. Most people butcher the whole coffee-to-cream ratio. Instead of actual coffee, some folks are basically drinking melted ice cream with a caffeine hint. If your coffee order takes longer to say than to drink, you might just be doing it wrong. 3. Ever notice how people say, "How are you?" but don't actually want an answer? It's basically a glorified hello. Try responding with anything longer than good, and watch them panic like they just activated a side quest they weren't ready for. 4. People in the US are champions of silent suffering when it comes to bad restaurant service. Got the wrong order. Steak came out well done instead of medium rare. Many just fake a smile, tip anyway, and complain to their friends later. Meanwhile, in some other countries, that plate would be sent back faster than a bad Tinder date. 5. The obsession with right on red is real. Technically, you're supposed to come to a full stop before turning, but most drivers treat it like a gentle suggestion. It's more of a roll and hope situation, which is probably why so many pedestrian crosswalks feel like an extreme sport. 6. Tipping culture in the US is a weird guessing game. Some tip 20%, some tip $1 no matter what, and some don't tip at all, and probably shouldn't be allowed in restaurants. Meanwhile, touchscreens at coffee shops are now demanding tips for just existing. Tipping has turned into a full-blown psychological experiment. 7. People love their personal space, but somehow, this rule gets thrown out the window when it comes to airports. Boarding a plane? Prepare for a full-body check by some guy's backpack. Deplaning? It's the Hunger Games. Forget about leaving in an orderly fashion, it's everyone for themselves. 8. People in the US will microwave literally anything. Pasta? Sure. Coffee for the 5th time? Why not? Day-old fast food? Of course. Americans treat the microwave like it's a magic wand, then wonder why their food tastes like regret. 9. Wearing flip-flops everywhere. Americans will wear flip-flops to the airport, the grocery store, and even hiking, which is basically just foot sacrifice. Meanwhile, their feet are out here collecting every piece of street grime like a lint roller. 10. Saying, "Let's hang out sometime," when you have zero plans to make it happen. This is the art of fake social invitations at its finest. If someone tells you, "We should grab coffee soon," there's a 95% chance that coffee's never happening. 11. People in the US are obsessed with ice. Want a drink? Here's a cup filled to the brim with ice, with a few lonely drops of soda floating around. Meanwhile, Europeans are looking at us like, do you actually enjoy beverages, or are you just trying to chew your way through hydration? 12. Every day, someone risks their life playing real-life Frogger, aka jaywalking, because who has time to walk an extra 10 feet to a crosswalk? Sure, it's illegal in many cities, but apparently the thrill of dodging cars like a stunt double is worth more than a few seconds of patience. 13. People in the US will stand in a line for literally anything. New iPhone, 3-hour line. Overhyped restaurant, line around the block, free sample at Costco, stampede-level chaos. Meanwhile, some just pretend to be in line for no reason. It's like a national instinct at this point. 14. Overusing the word literally. Somehow it sneaks into sentences where it absolutely doesn't belong. I'm literally dying when they're just mildly uncomfortable. Or I literally can't even when they, in fact, can. If words had feelings, literally would be filing for emotional abuse. 15. Some people will walk up to a wild bear in a national park and go, "Whoa, let me get a selfie." No fear, no common sense, just vibes. Meanwhile, that bear is thinking, why does my lunch keep taking pictures of me? 16. We love our big cars. But let's be real. Half the people driving SUVs have no clue how to park them. They either take up 2 spots, block half the street, or spend 5 minutes doing a 27-point turn just to straighten out. Bonus points if they have a bumper sticker that says, "I brake for animals," while nearly running over a pedestrian. 17. Americans will tell you they speak only English, then suddenly understand fluent Spanish when someone talks about them at a restaurant. Perdón, ¿qué dijiste sobre mi camisa? 18. Fast food. Drive-through orders are a full-scale negotiation. Can I get a burger, but no onions? Actually, extra onions. And can you put the pickles on the side? Oh, and make the fries extra crispy, but not too crispy. And can I get a mix of half Diet Coke, half regular Coke? Bro, just cook at home. 19. Calling 911 for the dumbest reasons is practically a tradition. Yes, hi. There's a raccoon in my yard and it looked at me funny. Or, my pizza is late. This is an emergency. Somewhere, a firefighter is shaking his head in disappointment. 20. Over-apologizing for absolutely no reason. Someone steps on their foot? Oops, sorry. Get handed the wrong order at Starbucks? Oh, my bad. Accidentally exist in someone's peripheral vision. I'm so sorry, I'll just disappear. At this point, we'd probably apologize for the weather. Oh no, is it raining? I am so sorry about that, I'll try to fix it. 21. Nothing confuses an American faster than trying to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. Wait, 32 is freezing, but 100 is boiling, so what's 74? Comfortable? They'll argue Fahrenheit is better while looking at a weather app and realizing they have no idea what the numbers actually mean. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is chilling at a neat 25 degrees Cs, wondering why the US insists on using a system that makes absolutely no sense. 22. There's an unwritten rule in America that if you're at a 4-way stop, you must enter an awkward "who's going first" standoff with at least one other driver. Everyone gestures, waves, then somehow still inches forward at the same time. The hesitation alone has probably caused more near accidents than actual reckless driving. Just go, Steve, before we both die of old age. 23. There's something deeply concerning about how much soda a single fast food cup can hold. A large drink at a US restaurant is basically the size of a child's swimming pool. And yet, somehow, the person who ordered it will still go back for a refill before finishing their meal. Who needs that much liquid? Are you hydrating for an ultra-marathon or just trying to survive the amount of salt in your fries? 24. Somewhere along the way, bacon became a personality trait in the US. It's not just food anymore, it's a way of life. There are bacon-themed shirts, bacon-wrapped everything, and even bacon-scented cologne because nothing says "date me" like smelling like a breakfast platter. If Americans could legally marry bacon, the divorce rate would skyrocket overnight. 25. The obsession with DIY home projects is truly unmatched. A perfectly fine table? Let's sand it, stain it, and turn it into a rustic farmhouse statement piece. Want a new bookshelf? Nah, let's just repurpose an old ladder and risk everything collapsing in the middle of the night. Nothing screams American confidence like watching 3 YouTube tutorials and suddenly thinking you're qualified to remodel an entire kitchen. 26. Ever watched an American try to plug something into an outlet in another country? Pure panic. Wait, why does this have 2 round holes? Where's the third prong? Why is the voltage different? They'll either force it in while ignoring the smell of burning plastic, or spend $40 on a converter, only to realize they should have just packed a universal adapter like a normal person. 27. There's no greater act of betrayal than ordering a salad at a US restaurant and expecting it to be healthy. Oh, you wanted lettuce? Sorry, we drowned it in ranch, deep-fried the toppings, and threw in a pound of cheese for good measure. At this point, a bacon cheeseburger has fewer calories than some salads on the menu. But hey, at least you're technically eating greens. 28. Nothing makes Americans unreasonably aggressive like an all-sales final sign. Somehow, they'll still show up 3 weeks later trying to return a half-eaten sandwich because it didn't taste as good as I thought it would. And when the cashier refuses, time to call the manager because clearly this is a human rights violation. 29. Fireworks are technically illegal in a lot of US states, but good luck stopping anyone. Every 4th of July, entire neighborhoods turn into an unlicensed pyrotechnic display. People will spend hundreds of dollars just to risk setting their lawn on fire while shouting, "America!" Honestly, it's a miracle that every suburban dad still has all 10 fingers. 30. No matter how old they are, Americans refuse to use the metric system unless it involves alcohol or bullets. Somehow, a country that measures everything in inches and miles still sells liquor in 750 milliliter bottles and describes guns in 9mm rounds. So, converting kilometers to miles is too much work, but suddenly, metric makes sense when it comes to getting drunk and shooting stuff? 31. Nothing makes an American panic more than seeing the gratuity already included on a restaurant bill. Wait, so I don't have to calculate a tip? But what if I want to tip more? Is this a trap? They'll sit there, questioning their entire existence, while Europeans just sip their espresso, completely unbothered. 32. Watch an American eat with utensils, and it's like a toddler learning to use chopsticks. They cut their food all at once, drop the knife like it's radioactive, and then stab away with a lonely fork. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is like, what are you doing? 33. Grocery stores in the US are too big. You go in for milk and somehow end up lost in aisle 57, between 14 different types of peanut butter and an entire cereal section bigger than some European apartments. 3 hours later, you've spent $200, forgotten the milk, and now own a pumpkin spice-scented candle for no reason. 34. Prescription drug commercials in America are a whole experience. They start with happy people playing with their dog, then casually mention that the medication may cause heart failure, paralysis, or sudden death. Meanwhile, the actor in the background is still smiling while strolling through a field of flowers. What kind of dystopian marketing strategy is this? 35. American weddings have turned into full-scale Hollywood productions. The dress? Thousands of dollars. The cake? A month's rent. The venue? Costs more than a car. And the kicker? Half the guests are just there for the open bar and won't even remember the vows. 36. If you're ever wondering where the loudest person in the room is from, just follow the booming voice. It's probably an American. Whether they're ordering coffee, having a quiet phone call, or just talking about their latest diet, they make sure the entire street hears about it. Whispering? Never heard of it. 37. Restrooms are for customers only. This sentence has started more high-stakes negotiations than some hostage situations. You either buy something unnecessary just to use the bathroom, or try to sneak in like a criminal mastermind. Either way, someone's losing their dignity in the process. 38. Every American thinks they're a grill master the second they buy a barbecue. They'll stand outside flipping burgers while holding a beer, fully convinced they're competing in some BBQ Olympics. Meanwhile, the actual food is either raw or burnt, but they'll still say, "You taste that? That's flavor." No, Chad, that's charcoal. 39. American infomercials make it seem like normal life is impossible without their products. Tired of struggling with a regular knife? Try the Miracle Blade 3000 TM, which can cut through a brick, a shoe, and even your mother-in-law's bad attitude. And somehow, someone is buying this. 40. Over-the-top holiday decorations are a full-contact sport in the US. Some neighborhoods take Christmas lights so seriously that their electric bill rivals a mortgage payment. If your house isn't visible from space, are you even trying? 41. Customer service in America is a roller coaster. Either you get someone overly cheerful, greeting you with, "Hi, welcome in. What can I get started for you today?" Or you get someone who clearly hates their job, giving you just enough energy to complete the transaction without legally committing a crime. No in between. 42. Every American owns at least one t-shirt from a random event they never actually attended. A charity 5K? Never ran it. A football championship? Never watched it. That Joe's Crab Shack shirt? They don't even know where Joe's Crab Shack is. But somehow that t-shirt is their favorite pajama shirt. 43. Buying bottled water in the US is a personality test. Some people swear by Fiji, others say Evian. And then there are those who will fight you over why Dasani is the worst thing ever created. Meanwhile, someone's out here paying $8 for artisanal glacier water, as if it was personally collected by a mystical Viking. 44. Americans will risk second-degree burns before admitting their food is too hot. Instead of waiting literally 10 seconds, they'll take a bite. Do the weird ha-ha-ha-ha breathing thing, sip ice water, then go in for another scorching bite like they've learned nothing. 45. The fridge full of condiments but no real food situation is peak American culture. Got ketchup, 17 different hot sauces, expired ranch dressing, and a mystery container that no one dares open. But actual groceries? Nope. Guess it's time to order takeout. Again. 46. The American version of walking somewhere usually means walking to their car and driving half a mile to the next parking lot. Even in a city, people will wait 5 extra minutes for an elevator just to avoid one flight of stairs. Meanwhile, in other countries, people are out here walking 10,000 steps a day just to get groceries. 47. Refusing to take sick days is practically a national sport. People will show up to work coughing, sneezing, and looking like death, just to prove they're dedicated employees. Meanwhile, their coworkers are sitting there, plotting a workplace rebellion because they all know they're next. Just stay home, Todd. 48. Freaking out when they have to do math without a calculator. Wait, what's 15% of this bill? Cue 5 minutes of blank staring, random number guessing, and just let me Google it real quick. 49. Turning every minor inconvenience into a lawsuit. Didn't like your hot coffee? Sue the coffee shop. Tripped on a sidewalk crack? Sue the city. Someone sneezed near you? Emotional distress, see you in court. Meanwhile, the rest of the world just moves on with their day like normal humans. 50. The diet starts tomorrow mindset is practically part of the culture. Someone will spend half an hour reading nutrition labels at the grocery store, then drive straight to a fast food joint and order a triple bacon cheeseburger with a Diet Coke. Because, you know, balance. 51. Forgetting basic geography but being extremely confident about it. Some folks legit think Paris is in London and that Africa is a single country. Ask them to point out Canada on a map, and suddenly they're sweating bullets like they're in a high-stakes game show. 52. Acting like water is optional. People will chug gallons of coffee, soda, and energy drinks but treat water like it's a last resort. By the time they actually drink some, their body is 98% caffeine, 2% regret, and they're wondering why they feel like a human raisin. 53. Wearing shorts when it's freezing outside. There's always that one guy who insists it's not even that cold while standing in a blizzard wearing nothing but basketball shorts and flip-flops. Bro, your knees are literally turning blue. This isn't toughness, this is a medical emergency. 54. Assuming everyone speaks English. Some travelers will go to another country and expect perfect customer service in fluent English. The second, someone doesn't understand them, their solution? Saying the same thing, but louder. Ah yes, because shouting in English magically makes it a universal language. 55. Ignoring pedestrians like they don't exist. In America, crosswalks are just suggestions. Drivers see someone waiting to cross and just speed up instead, as if hitting the brakes would physically harm them. Meanwhile, in some countries, cars actually stop without pedestrians having to risk their lives. Revolutionary concept. 56. Pretending to understand wine is a whole performance. Someone will swirl their glass, sniff it dramatically, and say, I can really taste the oak and blackberry notes. No, you can't, Jessica. You bought a $6 bottle from the grocery store. The only thing you're tasting is bad decisions. 57. The way people pronounce French and Italian food is a crime. Instead of croissant, they say croissant. Instead of bruschetta, it's bruschetta. Somewhere in Europe, an actual chef just shed a single tear. 58. They treat use-by dates like a suggestion, but expiration dates like a death sentence. Milk one day past the date? Immediately thrown out. Meanwhile, a bag of chips from 3 years ago is still fair game. Hey, it smells fine. 59. Never measuring ingredients while cooking. Some people will throw in random amounts of salt, pepper, and whatever seasoning looks cool and call it eyeballing it. But the second the food tastes weird, they act surprised like they didn't just freestyle their way into disaster. 60. Saying, "I'll be there in 5 minutes" when they're actually 20 minutes away. This lie is told with absolute confidence. Meanwhile, the person waiting knows damn well that 5 minutes really means, "I haven't even left yet." 61. Ever seen an American take off their shoes before entering a house? No. That's because it almost never happens. They'll walk in, tracking mud, street grime, and the remnants of a questionable gas station bathroom, then have the audacity to wonder why their carpets always need deep cleaning. 62. Watching TV with the subtitles on, even though they're fluent in English. The sound is perfectly clear, but for some reason, they need every single word on screen. Worse, they still ask, "What did they say?" even though it's literally written right there. 63. The phrase, "Have a good one," is America's favorite social escape hatch. Too awkward to say goodbye properly? Boom. Not sure how to end a conversation? Have a good one. Forgot someone's name halfway through talking to them? Just throw in a "have a good one" and disappear into the void. 64. The hydro flask culture in the US is wild. Some people lug around water bottles the size of an oxygen tank, acting like they're trekking across the Sahara. And yet, the same people will still complain, "Ugh, I think I'm dehydrated." Bro, you're carrying a portable lake. Drink it. 65. Somewhere along the way, avocado toast became a luxury item. Americans are out here paying $15 for mashed fruit on bread, convincing themselves it's worth it because there's a drizzle of balsamic on top. Meanwhile, an actual avocado costs 99 cents. 66. Nothing triggers an American quite like mild spice. One drop of hot sauce, and suddenly they're gasping for air like they just ate the sun. Meanwhile, people in India, Thailand, and Mexico are over here enjoying ghost pepper curry like it's Tuesday lunch. 67. The sunglasses indoors crowd is a mystery. Walk into any dark restaurant, movie theater, or subway station, and there's at least one guy wearing shades, struggling to read the menu but committed to the bit. Bro, are you a secret agent or just insecure about eye contact? 68. There's a bag of plastic bags inside every American home. You'll find it stuffed under the sink, crammed in a pantry, or multiplying in a drawer. Will they ever use all of them? No. Will they throw them away? Also no. The cycle never ends. 69. Saying, "I don't really watch TV," then quoting 15 different shows. "Oh, I don't really watch much." Cool, cool. 5 minutes later, a full breakdown of every season of Breaking Bad, Stranger Things, and The Office, plus a passionate rant about the Game of Thrones finale. 70. Waiting in a long drive-through line instead of walking inside where there's no wait. Sitting 20 minutes in a car just to avoid a 30-second walk. The irony? The guy inside already got his food and left before they even ordered. 71. The term un-American has lost all meaning. Ketchup on a hot dog? Un-American. Using kilometers? Un-American. Not loving every version of the national anthem? Super un-American. At this point, if it's slightly different from what Grandpa did, it's treason. 72. Need directions in America? Good luck. Instead of saying, "Take Main Street to Oak Avenue," you'll get, "Go past where the old Pizza Hut used to be, turn left at the gas station with the weird-looking dog, and if you hit the giant Walmart, you've gone too far." 73. Walking into Target for just one thing and leaving with an entire cart. What started as a simple errand for toothpaste somehow turned into throw pillows, a scented candle, a sweater they don't need, and an overpriced water bottle. 74. An American stubbing their toe? Instant near-death experience. Clutching the nearest surface, breathing through the pain like they've been shot. Meanwhile, in other countries, people fall off scooters, wipe the blood off, and just continue on with their day. 75. Saying, "I don't really drink," while holding a margarita the size of a fishbowl. The definition of not drinking in America apparently includes 3 cocktails, a round of tequila shots, and a beer, just to sip on. 76. People love saying, "We should totally carpool," but never actually do it. Instead, they'll sit alone in a 5-seat SUV, burning $100 in gas every week, while complaining about traffic, pollution, and gas prices. Meanwhile, in some countries, 5 people are somehow riding a single scooter, making it work. 77. The obsession with limited-time-only food items is ridiculous. The second a fast food chain releases a pumpkin spice burger or a ghost pepper milkshake, people lose their minds. They'll camp outside the restaurant like it's a rock concert, just to eat something they're probably not even going to like. 78. Every American gym has at least one guy filming his entire workout, like he's starring in a fitness documentary. He'll set up a tripod, flex aggressively, then spend more time reviewing his bicep angles than actually lifting weights. The funniest part? No one else at the gym cares. 79. Treating coupons like free money is a special skill. Some will spend $50 on gas, drive across town, and waste an hour of their day just to save $1.50 on frozen waffles. Meanwhile, someone in Europe is just buying what they need without turning grocery shopping into a tactical financial mission. 80. Putting way too much trust in autocorrect. People will send texts that barely resemble human language, then blame their phone when "let's meet at the cafe" somehow turns into "let's meet at the giraffe." Maybe just read the message before hitting send. 81. Nothing confuses an American more than splitting the check fairly. Wait, so I got an appetizer, you got 2 drinks, and she only had a salad? How do we do this? Simple. Just pay for what you ordered. But no. Somehow, it turns into an FBI-level math investigation at the table. 82. The second one, snowflake hits the ground. People panic like it's the apocalypse. Grocery stores get raided, milk and bread disappear, and suddenly, half the country forgets how to drive. Meanwhile, in Canada, folks are casually walking to work in a blizzard, sipping iced coffee. 83. Some drivers love pretending they're in a high-speed chase the second their GPS says, ETA, 15 minutes. Challenge accepted. They'll floor it, ignore every traffic law, and risk their lives just to shave off 30 seconds, as if Google is personally judging their driving skills. 84. Acting like exact change is a personal insult. Hand an American cashier $20 for something that costs $10 and watch their soul leave their body as they stare at those 2 pennies like they just received ancient treasure. 85. Fast food portion sizes are out of control. A small drink in the US is the size of a European large, and a large is basically a personal swimming pool. But the real insanity? Someone will order a 3,000-calorie meal, then feel proud of themselves for getting a Diet Coke. 86. The overuse of "I'm fine" in every situation. Car broke down? I'm fine. Lost their wallet? I'm fine. Got hit by a stray baseball at a game? I'm fine. If you see an American say, "I'm fine," 3 times in a row, they are absolutely not fine. 87. The obsession with keeping receipts for no reason. Buy a pack of gum? Keep the receipt. Get a coffee? Better save that receipt for tax purposes. 6 months later, their wallet is a crumpled archive of unnecessary purchases, and yet they'll never be able to find the one receipt they actually need. 88. Refusing to use public transportation, even when it makes sense. Americans will spend an hour stuck in traffic, pay $30 for parking, and burn half a tank of gas instead of just taking a subway that gets them there in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, in Japan, people are commuting at 200 miles per hour on bullet trains like it's no big deal. 89. There's no greater American rite of passage than ignoring instructions and trying to assemble furniture based purely on vibes. An hour in, something is backward, 3 screws are missing, and now they're mad at the manufacturer, even though they skipped step 1. 90. Using way too many napkins at fast food places. One small spill? They'll grab 37 napkins. Did they even use all of them? Nope. But they stuff a handful in their car, just in case. Meanwhile, someone actually needs a napkin and the dispenser is mysteriously empty. 91. Saying, "I don't need a bag," and then immediately regretting it. Every American has had this moment, confidently telling the cashier, "I'm good," only to end up awkwardly juggling a gallon of milk, a box of cereal, and a pack of toilet paper through the parking lot. But will they learn? Nope. They'll do it again next time out of sheer stubbornness. 92. Treating their car like a second closet. Need an extra jacket? Check the back seat. A pair of sneakers? Probably under the passenger seat. Yesterday's coffee cup? Still in the cup holder. Somehow, an American's car becomes a fully functional survival bunker, yet when they actually need something important, like their registration, it's nowhere to be found. 93. Freaking out when the Wi-Fi goes down, as if they've been transported back to the Stone Age. The second that loading wheel appears, panic sets in. Is it just me? Is the router broken? Do we still have internet rights? Meanwhile, their grandparents survived actual wars, and here they are, losing their minds over a 30-second outage. 94. The complete inability to eat quietly. You ever sit next to an American with a bag of chips? It's an Olympic event. First, there's the aggressive bag crinkle, then the shoveling handfuls like it's a survival scenario. And if it's popcorn, forget it. You'll hear every single bite echoing in surround sound. 95. Wearing giant noise-canceling headphones but still expecting people to talk to them. You're in line at a coffee shop, headphones on, fully in your own world. Then suddenly, tap tap, hey, what are you listening to? Bro, if I wanted to talk, I wouldn't be wearing headphones the size of satellite dishes. 96. Spending 20 minutes choosing a movie only to end up watching the same thing they've already seen 10 times. The process is always the same. Scroll through hundreds of options, watch 5 trailers, add 6 things to the watch list, and then end up watching The Office again. 97. You have to try this place. Then taking you to a chain restaurant. Dude, best Mexican food in town. Oh, cool. Where? Taco Bell. Americans will hype up a spot like it's a hidden gem, then walk you straight into a nationwide franchise. 98. Bringing a full suitcase for a weekend trip. Okay, so I'll need 3 pairs of shoes just in case. A backup jacket, a second backup jacket. 4 shirts for 2 days, 10 pairs of socks. And obviously, my entire bathroom counter. Meanwhile, the friend who packs light shows up with a single backpack and somehow never runs out of clothes. 99. Saying, I'm just gonna rest my eyes for a second, and then waking up 3 hours later. Americans will fall asleep mid-conversation in the middle of a fully lit room, wearing jeans, holding their phone, and then wake up completely disoriented, wondering what year it is. But will they admit it? Nah, I wasn't sleeping. 100. Over-explaining why they're late instead of just saying, I'm late. Instead of a simple, sorry, I lost track of time, you'll hear a full dramatic retelling of traffic jams, bad weather, GPS failures, mysterious detours, a suspicious-looking squirrel, and possibly an alien abduction. Just say, I'm late, Jessica. We don't need your autobiography. 101. And finally, the great goodbye struggle. Americans cannot end social interactions smoothly. Leaving a party takes 45 minutes, hanging up the phone needs 3 separate, all right, I'll let you go's. Walking away from a coworker, you'll see each other again in 2 seconds by accident. The worst? Saying goodbye, then walking in the same direction as the person you just said goodbye to. Peak awkwardness. All right, admit it. You've definitely done at least one of these today. Maybe even 3. But hey, that's what makes life entertaining, right? Now, here's the real question. What's something Americans do wrong that I didn't mention? Drop your best one in the comments, and let's see who's got the most ridiculous answer. And if you had fun with this, stick around. There's plenty more where that came from. Hit like, subscribe, and let's keep exposing the madness together. See you in the next one.